Hello and welcome once again to Exit Strategy. Let me tell you what this podcast is about. This is the one where we ask comedians, what would you do with your life if comedy was no longer a part of it? What are you going to focus on now that comedy is no longer in your life? You can still laugh, though, even if you have another job. We got a show on today. Oh, it is so on. I have a great guest, Chase Bernstein, a comic that I've known for quite some time. In fact, she got her start in an open mic that I used to run many, many years ago in downtown Los Angeles at the Casey's Irish Pub, R.I.P. It's still there, but there is no mic. We got in trouble because somebody brought in beers. Oh, she is here, Chase Bernstein. And we talk a little bit, we go down memory lane, and we talk a little shop about comedy, because Chase is one of my favorite comics to watch, because she's a great joke writer. She's a great comedian. Classic jokes aplenty. But one of my favorite parts of watching a Chase Bernstein set is when something is afoot, something is awry, something has gone wrong, or something strange has happened in the audience, because she will drop her act on a dime and live in that moment and soak it up and turn it into an absolute comic experience. If you ever get a chance to see Chase live, I recommend it. Go see it. I'll even give you a couple bucks for the ticket, within reason. But before that, hey, I got married. Did you know that? Did you know I got married? Your good old pal Jeff got married. And I know that we didn't have a wedding registry. We didn't want to have it. We had a simple wedding. We didn't need a wedding registry. But if you still want to get me a gift, here's the perfect gift you can give me. A iTunes review, subscription, a rating. Go on the platform. Give this podcast some sort of review or some sort of rating. I don't care what it is. You can give me 3 stars. That's fine, just as long as it shows people are listening to it. And hey, if you want to go the extra mile, if you want to like be like, I'm getting him a good gift, the best gift would be telling a friend about this podcast. You probably got a comedy nerd friend in your life that would love to hear a little bit more about what goes on in the comic mind, how we structure our acts, how we think about leaving the business, how we got into the business. Go ahead and give them a recommendation of a lifetime. Tell them to listen to this podcast. Let's get more listeners in on here, and maybe also we could use a new cutting board if you. If you really want to get me a wedding gift, and I don't know why you would, you're a stranger, but we could use a new cutting board. The one we have, it's plastic, it's warped, it wobbles every time we cut onions. It's a fucking nightmare. Okay, enough groveling for free stuff. It's time to get to the podcast at hand. Here is Chase Bernstein on Exit Strategy. Back to Hollywood, where shit happens.
Paramount lot.
I've never been on the Paramount lot. That's
Neither
one of the ones that I've never been to.
Me either.
I want to.
I know.
It looks enticing from outside.
It looks fun. And I heard they have a coffee bean
inside.
Yeah.
No, that's class.
Yeah, it really is.
You don't have to go off lot for your coffee bean. And I would say coffee beans probably. I mean, if I had to choose between my Starbucks or my coffee bean to have, I'd probably pick the coffee bean.
100%.
Do you think that they did the full-on remodel there, too, at Paramount, where because all the coffee beans used to look like a Midwestern mom's kitchen, like with all the wood paneling and stuff, but now have you noticed they're all like, they changed the logo to that modern font?
I mean, I support Coffee Bean no matter what they do.
And they love you for it.
Yeah.
Save the plugs for the end,
Okay.
Thanks for coming over to be on the show.
Thank
I just
you.
noticed, because I do a little bit of research before every show. I was looking on your social media. You did a show at 12:15 last night, so are you awake?
I mean, it was actually my set was supposed to be at 12:25, and I truly got there at 12:23, like frazzled, and they were like, the show hasn't
even started. Yeah. That's kind of what I figured.
And I'm like, how do I never learn this? Like, truly, like I'm always just like, it's gonna be perfectly on time.
Every once in a while, though, you'll get burned. And
I know.
Lunatic will start their show at the door time. Oh, my God.
And they're like, where are you? And it's like, okay, I'm obviously, like, coming. Like, I'm en route. Like, what do you mean, where am I? Like, I'm not in, like, Arizona. Like, I'm coming, you know?
I'm writing my act.
Yeah.
We have, because we have a producer now.
Yeah.
So she's not a comedian. So I think she's a little more like, well, this is the time we should start.
Right.
But then, as a comic, the rest of us that host, I think like there's that thing of we have to feel it out.
Totally,
I don't know.
totally.
I cannot put my finger on like what needs to happen.
Right.
Before a show should start.
Yeah.
But I know when it's like, it's not, we can't
You're like,
start right now.
do not start right
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
Like, it will be hell.
There's a guy still standing, talking to his friends over there. There's a guy over there that looks like he's clearly going to go to the bat. Like, it's just, the room isn't ready.
People wrap up their personal business.
Yeah, I need it to just, it's so LA, like, the vibe has to be
no, it's
right
so true, though. I
That's
get
true.
that.
So the show went well at 12.
It was
48
fun.
or
I mean,
whenever
yeah,
you
it
got
was
to go.
about 1 a.m. It was pretty cool. Like, randomly, the Gin Blossoms were on the show before, and they played "Hey Jealousy."
Wait, okay, hold on. Like the whole band, the
I
Gin
don't know.
Blossoms.
There were two men.
Yeah.
Like, I like that song. I know of the Gin Blossoms, but I like. If someone was like, those aren't the Gin Blossoms, like those are people singing the song, I'd be like, yeah, for sure. But like it apparently was
the real Gin
Blossoms.
Blossoms.
It was the real deal. And yeah, I don't know why they were there. I don't know
Somebody
why.
called in a favor.
Yeah. But so it was really weird because I was like, I was like, oh, the show's not even started yet. Like, it's late. And then it's like, I'm like, the Gin Blossoms? And then it's like my whole like mind. I was just like, damn, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, this is a happening now.
Yeah.
It's crazy that the Gin Blossoms got all dressed up, maybe did like ran through the song and came out to do one song. That's a lot of effort for 3.5 minutes.
I know. But I guess they were like, it was maybe like a podcast and they were like having conversation before. Because, for the late show at the Improv, it's just whoever stays from the show before.
Yeah.
So I was just talking to these girls that they had come to see the Gin Blossoms. And I was like, were you expecting them to play more than one song? And they were like, yeah. Like, they thought it was like a full concert. But it was like they just got
a bit of a
one.
ripoff.
Yeah.
The Gin Blossoms didn't stick around for the 12:45.
I mean, maybe they did. I wouldn't recognize them if they did, Maybe they were there.
They probably hung out. Maybe they'll ask us. Maybe.
Yeah.
And then they'll get to go up at
an encore.
2 a.m.
Yeah.
Is that show at the Improv where there isn't really an ending between the first show and then the late show?
I think so. I was out of the room when it turned over, but I think it's just like a guy goes up and he's like, hey guys, it's like you don't have to pay for that the late show. So it's like if you want to stay, you're welcome. If you don't, you don't. And it's like, God bless the people who stay.
God bless the person that has to do that set too. My God.
Yeah.
Because we're just talking about like the room not being settled. That I remember watching that transpire once and just being like, God, I hope I never get asked to be the host who has to be like, an entire room is loading out, but you're also doing a set.
Yeah, it's got to take a toll on you. But he handled it quite well.
I think you probably get pretty good at that after a while.
Yeah.
Because you have to.
Right.
Yeah. And then bing, bong, boo, people were still in the audience.
They were still there. It was really fun.
Going strong. It was the spirit of the Gin Blossoms.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sad that you didn't get to have a ham prom reunion with my wife.
Oh, my God.
You and my wife have a history of...
You really do.
Running... What was it? It was a comedy prom.
Yeah.
It was like 2 years running.
It was a solid 2 years.
Solid 2 years, called Ham Prom.
Yeah. And it's so crazy that we hosted that. That first one was at downtown.
Yeah, it was at the Alexandria Hotel in like a gutted floor. It was just black walls, black ceiling, nothing in it, but the windows behind. It was very spooky.
It was really freaky. And then me and Amber were just like all dressed up and like,
full prom outfits.
Full prom. Like, I truly don't know what I think I was just so like was like, what were we doing? What were we talking
We
about?
were
We
all
were
kids.
so inexperienced. Like, we were not equipped to host that, and yet we probably did a great job.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though. That particular ham prom had like a full-on musical component.
Yes, it
like
did.
There's some sort of grease component, and I remember Josh Androsky got bathed in perhaps 20 gallons of fake blood.
Right, and then we did our dance number after that
on a puddle of corn syrup.
Yeah.
In full high heels and gowns.
Oh my God, yeah.
More is more, not less is more. You just need to keep adding more and more stuff on there.
That's so crazy. I wish I could go back to that night. Just like
you could
observe it from afar, you know, like
it's like, what are you doing?
What were we doing?
It wasn't. You didn't even do stand up. I don't think. I think it was like a full on sketch.
Yeah,
musical review.
I think so.
Well, maybe it's time to remount. It is prom season, I think.
Yes,
late.
It's
late.
Upon us.
It's late prom season.
I think prom is in late May.
Prom's like right before you leave school kind of situation. Yeah. Well, I think we could probably whip one up in a week or two. The ham prom ladies are back. We got to go shopping. One of my favorite things about a Chase Bernstein set is when crazy shit, not like that happening where there's blood and such. My favorite thing is when you are performing, because you have solid comedy, like just bits. Natural bits. My favorite thing is when anything goes wrong, anything comes out of the ordinary, any audience reaction happens, because it will just totally derail you in an instant.
Yes.
In an instant.
Yes.
But those
I'm
are the
waiting
best.
for it.
It kind of seems like you are.
Yeah.
Do you get bored with your material?
I get so bored.
I'm with you.
I love, I don't want to say this, but I sort of love an interruption.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, not a really bad one, but
not
it's
like a heckle.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I love something to comment on. I love something to, like, just not do my jokes.
Any chance to interact with an audience member,
I will take it.
Is choice.
Yes. Yeah. I agree. I mean, it's so funny that people who really, they never talk to the audience. Like, I truly have so much respect for those people.
Yeah.
It's like that I truly don't have that skill.
It's kind of bizarre to me sometimes, though.
Yeah.
To see it's fun to see where people's breaking points are, because if there's ever anything disruptive in the audience, sometimes a comic will finally, like, I have to.
Right.
There was the last sauce I did. There was a woman who her phone started playing a YouTube clip. And she left, and that was a disruption. She left the room. As she did, she turned the lights on. But then,
oh my God!
But the comic on stage, no, just
Nothing.
like whatever, we'll go with it. The woman came back in, YouTube clips still playing, and walked to a seat very close to the front row. And that was finally the breaking point where the was like, I have to talk about it.
Yeah.
And then that's when everybody absolutely loves it, because everyone is on the same page.
Exactly. That's why I mean, I feel like it's a bit, I get mad at myself because it's a little bit of a cop-out, but it's like, I feel like those laughs, like a pre-written joke is never going to reach the ceiling of like an in-the-moment situation.
Where everybody's on the same page.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like you all know exactly what's happening. Yeah. Like, so that's why I really love that. Like, the ceiling is so high, but it's also like you can't depend on that. Like, you know. You
never really know what's going to happen. Because there's sometimes, my least favorite way to perform is in a room that's just dead, because I get nothing.
It's hell.
And you just, and then you just say your thing, and then you leave.
Yeah.
If there's anything going on in the room, that's like a playground to me.
It's heaven. Yeah. Yeah, I love it.
Are you at the point where you, like, that's the like when you go into it, is that the goal to have something like that happen, or are you going in with this is what I want to say, and if something like, you're not banking on it?
Yeah, I feel like I went through a period where I I discovered that part of stand-up where it's like, oh, you can like do anything.
Yeah.
You can have fun with the audience. You can do anything. And I was sort of like seeking it out. And that never works. Like when you're trying to force, like, it's like a like chair squeaks, and you're like, "What was that?" You know, like you like go. It's like no, you know. So I was doing that for a while, and I was like, okay, I have to just, if something happens, it happens, and I'll go with it. But I can't like go into it assuming or
the paper can't be blank. Going
exactly. So, but I feel like something always happens.
Yeah.
And I also have jokes where I do talk to the audience naturally. So it's like something will always come from that. And then it's like you can hold on. It's like, okay, now we know this person or we know their name. So now we can go back to them. Like I try to like gather as many things as I can.
Those are the best sets because then literally anything can become a callback.
Exactly.
And then you have like, because this is my problem that I find sometimes. Yeah. Because I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I hate doing material. It's the worst. But I have so much fun when there's some interaction that you can have with the audience.
Yeah.
The problem that I find is, and I don't know if there's like a definite solution to it, but let's say you're doing 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And you get 5.5 minutes out of talking to the crowd.
Right.
How do you end that set effectively?
Exactly.
That's hard.
Exactly. I feel like you do longer crowd interactions than I do. Like, because I've seen you where you can go for so long, without material, and I'll kind of pop in and out of it, so it is a little easier. Because like, I don't.
The transition's hard.
You cannot really like you can't be having all this fun, and then it's like you really feel all the energy switch when you're like. So anyways, I just got married. You know, it's like people are like, oh, no. Like, I thought you were fun. You know,
clearly like, just reciting something.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really hard transition.
But it feels like the exits on sets like that are usually just luck. Like 100%. You just happen to find that
100%
appropriately timed. Otherwise, you could be the guy that goes like 20 minutes long. Like, I got to find my out.
Right.
I wonder like about a person like Rory Scovel or someone like that who it seems like he is going in with absolutely nothing.
Right.
Like, how does he end?
I
want to know.
He's sort of like the master of it. You know, it's like. Yeah, every time I watch him, I'm just like, wow, how are you not scared? And maybe he is, but he doesn't show it.
He might be terrified the whole time.
Yeah.
But it looks so smooth and it looks so natural. It would be so, I mean, like the lazy part of me would love it if I could just not even spend an iota of time thinking about what I'm going to say up there. Because I do have like one or two things just in case. Yeah. If I could go up and just be like, no prep was done for this at all.
Right. No, it's crazy. Yeah. I always write out a set list. And I feel like I start with it, but then I'm looking for any reason
excuse
to jump
to not
ship.
Do these bits.
Yeah.
Oh, you usually find it. How many years in did it take for you to get to that point? At what point in your stand-up career did you discover that little...
I know. I don't know, actually. I feel like maybe it was, I want to say, like 3 years in.
Yeah.
Because I think I was, like, I think the first year I had so much fun. And also you were the mic at Casey's was the first mic I ever did. Yeah. So you hosted the first open mic I ever did.
Oh my God. We're all such babies.
Yeah. Like that is crazy.
That was a fun one too because it felt like a show.
Yeah.
We kind of ran it like with production values. So
it was the
really
best
felt
mic ever.
Like something special.
Yeah.
It was hard to run.
I bet.
But I think it was worth it. And I think a lot of people got their footing because of it, which is good.
No, I totally did. But yeah, I had so much fun the first year because everything was like new and I was like, what is this? And then I feel like the second year it really came to like a screeching halt. And I was like, I don't know like what to say. Like, I don't know like how to write. Like, I don't know who I am. Like, I don't know like what jokes to write. And I was so miserable because I would write these jokes that I didn't care about, and then I would put so much pressure on them to do well. And when they didn't do well, I'd be like devastated about these jokes I didn't even like.
Yeah.
And then it was like, I don't know, there was a turning point after that second year where it was like, I discovered that it's like, you could vent that frustration or be transparent on stage. Yeah. And then it became so much fun to me, and it took the pressure off the jokes. It's like I am trying to write jokes, and I am always trying to have them work, but it's like, if it doesn't work,
yes,
it's fine. Like, and that's honestly probably where I like do like what people like about my sets is like the aftermath of the joke, you know, and kind of assessing it. So I feel like when I discovered that, I just was so much happier, and I like had so much more fun.
Truly, the most funny thing is when you deliver a joke to devastating silence. Because you see the reaction.
I crumble.
On your face, like, okay, all right. Well, let's keep going with something else then.
Yeah, but I love being transparent about it, because it's like, why are we acting like this doesn't affect you? Like, it's like crazy.
It's really weird, and it speaks to that thing of like the whole audience is all thinking the same thing.
Exactly.
Let's just acknowledge that.
I know.
And move on. But I'm sure it is a terrifying thing if you've never really done that to go down that path.
Yeah, it's you have to do it. There's like an art to it.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just be like, fuck, that should have worked. You know, like,
owning up to your failures publicly.
Yeah.
is hard sometimes.
It's really hard.
Yeah. And you lived here. You moved, like, you grew up in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So you had never done any comedy anywhere else?
No.
Yeah. So you just the LA comedy scene was it?
Yeah, I know.
How does that make you feel years later? Would you have wanted to go somewhere else?
I mean, I guess not. Like, obviously in a perfect world, I wish I just like, you know, I went to school in Boston, wish I just dipped my toe in there, you know, just to like get a base level going. But I think it does make you like a really strong comic to start here.
Yeah, you have to
I
be.
think. Yeah. It's like the things people do like 1 year in, like the shows you're on with like truly like headliners, like some of the best comics.
You got to learn to follow them, because they never want to go at the end.
Exactly. So it's just like people who start in other cities and they're like 5 years in and they've never been on a show with like, you know, I don't know, or they've just, it's like you learn that way too soon here, and it's like really sucks for a long time.
Yeah.
But it's like you're so in it that you don't even like realize
you're
sucks.
in the deep end.
Yeah.
From the moment you start. And 100%. It's weird when you go to a smaller town and you see their scene, there is like a clear you notice it. I don't think you notice it when you're here sometimes, because you're just so used to like, well, everybody here's amazing, and we're all trying to get the same.
No, I know.
5 shows.
I do. Yeah, I do feel like it's like probably bad for your confidence. Like,
yeah, it'll mess with your head.
Yeah, like I feel like still like I'm not like I'll go to a show that is like nothing, and I'm like, fuck. Like, I hope I do. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna do well, and it's like that's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's like I feel like if I started somewhere else, I would just be more confident.
Well, also I think that the audiences are different too.
Right.
Like if you were in a smaller scene than here, because I'm sure that like the audience at the Improv at 12 at night is going to be different than, you know, an 8 p.m. audience in Iowa or something, or Minnesota. Yeah. But you would this is like you have to have thicker skin. I feel like it's not like your audience isn't just like, oh, they're people like me. Like sometimes they're just brutal and mean.
Brutal. It's like sometimes I feel like I've learned skills that like I don't need.
Yeah.
You know? Like I'm just like I shouldn't have these skills. Like I don't know if they're helpful, but
you have them.
Yeah, they're there. I need them.
There's a thing that I don't know if I've heard it in a while, but New York comics are always like that. I guess not New York comics, but like that attitude that comes from New York of like it's tougher here, it's harder here. Like you got to perform in front of people who hate you and stuff, and like people that are actively heckling you. And whenever I hear that, I'm like, that sounds so much better than coming up here and performing for, like we were saying, a room with no energy at all.
Yeah.
Like I think LA comics kind of learn to perform in weird vacuums.
Right.
And then like New York comics are in like this obstacle course that frankly sounds kind of fun.
It does sound way more fun to me. Like there is nothing I hate more than a really polite, focused audience.
Yeah.
And like someone do something, like someone just make a movement, like someone talk to the person next to you. Like I don't care. Like I love it.
Just smile, not laughing, just smiling.
Yeah, and just like, oh God, when it's so focused, it truly like makes me uncomfortable.
Those ones, and then the on the opposite side, I don't like audiences that are so fucking cool.
Oh yeah,
they will not. Like,
exactly.
It's like, why did you even come to this?
Why did you come?
I'm too cool to have even the spontaneous moment of laughter in my life. Why would you come to this? It doesn't make any sense.
I know.
Did you have any connection with the entertainment industry growing up here, or is it all foreign?
No. I didn't.
You were living in the valley?
Living in the valley.
Going to City Walk all the time.
I was. Yeah, truly. Yeah, we had parking passes and everything. They sent it to us because we lived close. Yeah.
Wow, they actively court people to come into the Universal City Walk.
Yeah.
It worked.
It did work. I was there all the time. I didn't. I mean, I did like theater in high school for a couple years, but I wasn't like, I never was thinking about like I would do anything like this.
So it wasn't like I'm near the industry. I gotta dip my toe into it.
No,
it just so happened that you live in Los Angeles.
Exactly.
And then that's when you dig into the LA comedy scene.
I mean, that's when you just drive downtown to an Irish pub.
Have you been there lately? Have you been to Casey's?
No, have you?
Yeah, Amber and I were thinking about doing a wedding party there until we realized we do not want to take our families to downtown Los Angeles.
Right.
And we went in there, and it still smells like basement-y,
Yeah.
But it's all the same. It's completely still.
God, what a place!
We got to let's do the prom show.
Oh my God,
Casey's. We'll start writing it now.
Oh my God.
Well, it's been a long road for old Chase Bernstein.
Yeah.
You've been doing comedy, for quite some time.
Yeah.
A lot of successes, Comedy Central and the like.
A lot of ups and downs.
But now I got to take it all away from you. I got to say no more.
Yeah.
It's gone. If you had to refocus your life, focus all these energies into a new chase, new path.
Yeah.
What would be the path you go down? What would be your exit strategy?
Yeah. This really tripped me up. It's like, you asked me to do this, and I was like, yeah. And then I was like, I'll think of something. And then I was like, whoa. I mean, I could see it going so many different ways, I guess I didn't need that whole, spiel. But the one I don't know why I just made it.
Well, you just want people to know that you
it wasn't it wasn't
you did the homework.
Duh.
You explored it.
I didn't have an immediate I know. I didn't know. I guess I would either be a restaurant manager, or a dancer.
Okay, those are two wildly different different ones.
Yeah.
Well, let's focus in on the dancer first.
Yeah.
Because that sounds fun.
Yes.
You professional dancer, you're gonna be chorus line,
in music videos.
Oh, okay.
And on tour.
Like a backup dancer.
Yes. A backup dancer.
Do you have dance chops?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they?
They're pretty strong.
Yeah.
If I had to say.
You said that kind of confidently. I like that.
I know.
Oh, they're ready.
I'm confident in everything else that's not my profession. I'm bowling. Yeah, I'm incredible.
Yeah, I'm really good at
I'm all right. I don't know. But yeah, I used to dance when I was younger, and I remember being 20 and being oh, I should start dancing again. But I literally was it's too late. It's too late for me. And it's that's crazy. I was 20.
Yeah.
And I was no, it's done.
Retired.
It's done.
I'm retired.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel it'd be so cool just to have your Nike bag and you change into your leggings and the dance outfits. It's
backstage
cute
with
but
the Nike
comfortable.
bag.
Yeah. And you're just I don't know.
What is the like best case scenario? You know, let's say you're hopping into auditions for a couple of years.
Yeah.
You make a name for yourself. We're like 5 years down the road.
Oh my God.
Where like what is your ideal dance situation?
Right. I mean, I guess it would be like going on tour with like, you know, a Beyonce and Ariana Grande.
The Gin Blossoms.
The Gin Blossoms. I'm their only dancer. But yeah, just like being on tour. I feel like what I like about dancing is like you don't need to think.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of like, it's like stand up is like excruciating. Like it's just comedy is constant. Like your brain is just always on. Yeah. It's like you're always trying to think of stuff. So like I like that with dance. It's like you can really just turn it off.
Yeah.
Like it seems like a nice break.
And it's also it is the exact opposite. Like performance wise, it's the exact opposite of the way you seem to be approaching stand up. Like it is like this is the moves.
Right.
They don't change.
Right. It's not interpretive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's something nice about that structure.
But then maybe 3 years in, you're like, I'm tired of doing these moves.
I mean, 100%.
And then you become an in the moment dancer.
Yeah.
I don't think that would go well with
No.
the other because you gotta be in like a sync. Do you like? Because then another thing about stand up is it's very isolated. It's very singular. Activity. Dance is going to be a lot more collaborative. Do you like that?
Right.
That atmosphere? Do you miss that?
Now that you're saying that, I don't like collaborative things.
We're out.
I think that's why I like stand up because I've never been like a group person, you know.
But like, even when you were a dancer, because I mean, it feels like when you're on tour, it's going to be you and the gang.
I know,
close quarters.
I guess I was a lot younger when maybe I was more open to it then. But it's like even like when I did improv before I did stand up, and I was like, this is fun, but like if less people were here, that'd be great.
We don't need to give everybody a moment. To some of us are working on something.
Yeah.
But it's going to be you and a team of men and women like sharing hotel rooms. I mean,
that
across
camaraderie
the
sounds nice.
Yeah.
You know? Like maybe that's like, I don't know if I would be able to, but it's like I would aspire to be that kind of person.
Yeah. It's like it sounds like this exit strategy is a complete 180 from your life.
Yeah.
In every aspect right now.
Truly. Truly.
A complete switch. But it also, it seems glamorous.
Yeah.
I want to take that away even though.
Okay.
Because that's it's entertainment.
It's still performing.
You're still performing.
I know.
It's still got the showbiz glamour.
Yes, totally.
I mean, obviously you're going to do it.
Right.
But let's take that away. Let's go to the other one, the restaurant manager.
Yes.
Is this something... I want to know how you arrived upon restaurant manager.
Well, I always worked at restaurants before I did stand-up. Even though I did work in retail for like a few years there, but since I was 16, I've always worked in a food industry type of thing. And I freakishly just love working at restaurants. Like it truly brought me joy. Yeah. And I think this relates to stand up a little bit where it's like, every night's going to be different. Like it's never going to be the same thing. There's going to be like things that arise, like fires you have to put out, and it like it's not boring.
It's not an office job.
Exactly.
It's not like 9 to 5.
I cannot be in an office. I cannot be contained, but I have to be like roaming around. But I like worked at this really nice restaurant when I was living in Boston. And Boston, like they're really serious about like the restaurant scene. Like it's a whole culture. And I worked at this restaurant like since it opened, and I just loved it. And like if I could have climbed, like if I had stayed, I mean, I could have probably easily climbed the ranks. But I just was like, I loved everything about it. Like I loved the culture. Yeah. Like I loved going there at like 4 p.m. and it's like you like make a coffee and like get ready for the night, and the night's like crazy, and then afterwards you go out with everyone. It's just like I just loved it.
There's like a buzz to it.
Yeah.
And it's like every single night.
Every single night. Well, also the thing is why I feel like I like staying there because I don't actually like to go out. Like I'm not like a partier. Yeah. So it's like I like having things at night Because, like, if people are like, can you come to this? I'm like, I can't. I got a show. You know, like, I can't ever do. I always have an excuse. Yeah. So that's why I liked working at restaurants, too, at night, because it's like, you're always working.
Gotta work.
Gotta work.
Gotta work.
Yeah.
Was this like a Michelin star kind of situation, like that level of restaurant?
It wasn't that, but it was like a super nice. Like the chef was like.
How many dollar signs are we talking?
I'm definitely 3.
Definitely 3.
Yeah,
okay.
like a very well-respected chef in Boston, and she was amazing. And yeah, it was just like it was in this like super nice hotel. I also love like a hotel setting, you know. Anything in like a nice hotel, like I'm down. Like I just want to be there, you know. In. Yeah. So it was just I don't know. I just loved it.
So you have the chops. You have
I have the experience.
You like the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So let's explore. I mean, you're in Los Angeles. It's a foodie town. I know you made the distinction of Boston. Is Los Angeles like? What's the difference between the food scene?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't go out to eat as much here. Or I'm not like. I don't have my ear to the ground on the restaurant
you don't know
scene.
All the chefs
like I don't know like the emerging restaurants. Like I just like the places that I like. But I mean, I imagine people take it seriously here.
Oh, I'm sure. There's some definite
right.
names. I mean, all the Netflix shows. That's always a chunk that happens in Los Angeles.
I know, and I'm always like, I should go there, and then I never do.
No, I never do.
Yeah,
you don't. You don't go to the $250 sushi place where the lady like passionately makes the menu just for you.
Right.
It's kind of that's like an ordeal.
I don't need that type of pressure on me.
No. That's too much because I'm gonna be like, I don't really like this. But if you had your druthers, and you wanted to manage a restaurant, and also when you say manage a restaurant, is this like somebody else's restaurant or is this like you are opening the restaurant?
Maybe it's mine, you know? Like I was thinking, because I used to work at Bar Marmont at the Chateau Marmont, and I loved that. Yeah. And I feel like being in charge of like something there, like either the bar or restaurant, like that would just be so fun.
It's like your playground.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
So if you had to... I mean, let's say that you are. Yeah. It's your restaurant.
Right.
It's your bar. It's your whatever.
Yeah.
What kind of place are we talking? What's the
nice
vibe?
One. A nice one, but not like intimidating.
What's the style? What's the food? What is the?
I think it's like there's definitely a macaroni and cheese on the menu. Okay, but so it's like fancy.
Comfort, but fancy.
Yeah. Like a grilled cheese, definitely a lot of cheese.
A lot of cheese.
A lot of cheese available. Just like good sandwiches, just like a nice pasta dish.
Yeah.
Just like a little bit of everything, but not a huge menu.
But this doesn't sound like a place where it's like a square plate, one little thing, like little tiny morsel, and then like a fancy sauce design.
No, I'm not like a fancy eater.
Oh, okay.
No,
okay.
It's like it's nice and it's upscale, but it's not like it's not stressful.
It's not elitist.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
exactly.
Okay. Now you're talking my language. This sounds like a good place.
Yeah.
This is an elevated
place.
But I'm not going to be uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Like I'm not going to feel underdressed or
Exactly.
Will there be a dress code?
Come as you are. I mean, it's like don't.
No flip-flops.
Yeah, it's like respect yourself.
You gotta wear.
Come in strong, but like there's no. I'm not gonna like kick you out. You know.
Yeah, this isn't like.
It's like come to play.
Yeah. This isn't. It is Hollywood,
exactly.
So you gotta put in a little effort. But it doesn't sound like this is where, I don't know. Logan Paul eats or whatever.
Right.
I don't know. He's not really
the
scene,
reference.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
Do the kids like Logan Paul? Well, what is your focus on the restaurant? Is it the food or is it the vibe? What is like your what is your main?
I think it's the vibe. It's like I'm kind of floating around, making sure people are happy. Yeah. Like I love to like comp a dish. It's like I used to love that at the restaurant I worked at Boston. It's like if like someone had a reservation and we were running like 10 minutes behind, they'd be like comp their like bread. Yeah, and it's like God, that's powerful. Yeah. Like and it's like that is always going to make you feel good. Like when you get the bill and it's like taken, they're like, oh, we comped your, whatever. It's like damn.
It's instant gratification.
It really is. Like, it's so simple.
No one is going, even like an asshole is going to appreciate that you
exactly. Yeah. They'll be like, oh my God, thank you. But like, imagine the power of comping something or being like getting the first round of drinks, you know, like, and just making sure people are just having a good time. Because I know it sounds stupid, but it's like from working in restaurants, from even going out to restaurants, it's like, it is like a luxury. It should be fun.
Yeah.
And like there's nothing worse than going to a restaurant and having it just be like, well, we could have made pasta at home. Like, you know, it's just like, it should be an experience.
So when I walk into Chase's restaurant,
I'm there with
you're
open arms.
Open arms. You're the only one
ready
that works
to comp.
Ready to comp. So once I get past the host station, is there a certain, like, what's the lighting? It's dim, but not too dim. Yeah. And nothing I hate more than a bright light. You know, I'm
like
going
maybe,
there at night.
Yes.
I'm
maybe it's like just all candlelit, you know, with some really soft golden light. It's like there's definitely comfortable, soft leather booths available.
Okay.
And
this sounds like a nice place.
It's very
I'm liking
nice.
it. I like that it's not like, it doesn't sound super ultra modern. It's not like one of those places where it's like everything is white tiled.
Right. It's cozy but clean.
Cozy but clean. Yeah. Come on down to Chase's. She'll comp you most things.
Everything's comped. It gets shut, like, it goes out of business immediately. There are like too many comps.
Well, I have another question for this restaurant.
Yeah.
Can I start a comedy show there? Do you have a back room?
A back room would be cool. I mean, given my past, you know, I don't know. It might be hard for me to be around it. You know, like I might want to separate this part of my life and be like, you know what, that was my past. And
you don't want to be the venue owner who's like, can I get up and like we have to give Chase time. She lets us do this show.
Oh my God, that is so embarrassing to even think about. Like, seriously, like people dreading me going up, and I'm just like loving it.
And you go and you do like an hour. You just do not get off because it's your restaurant.
Yeah.
That's you know, hey, any way you can get stage time.
That's true. If you have to start a restaurant and run it.
Yeah, you work hard. You need a vent. You need to release a little bit of that tension.
Yeah.
Do you have, I guess on the management side, you're going to have to, you're going to crack the whip a bit.
I know.
Do you have that skill set? Do you like managing other people?
I never have before, but I feel like I could. I feel like I could straddle both lines of being like, people could respect me. It's like when people respect you, they just want to do well. Like I've had managers that they never said anything about like, oh guys, like do this, but it's like I liked them so much that I just wanted to do a good job. Yeah. So I would kind of try to follow that path.
It's like an unspoken.
Exactly.
Like everyone's clearly on the same page.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't want to like tell anyone anything necessarily, you know.
Be the micromanager.
Yeah.
You just want to show up, comp, have a competent team.
Yeah.
And then make it happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just have like great, memorable nights.
Is it going to be like a party atmosphere? You're going to be like drinks on the house? Everybody.
It's like get loose, but not too loose.
Because you're come to play, get loose, not too loose.
Don't take it too far.
Because it sounds like you're like very much visible. Like people know.
I know.
It's
like I picture myself in like a good outfit every night. Yeah. Like I'm just like, but it's funny. I'm not even like that person. Like I don't even like to have people over my apartment because I'm like, ugh, like I'm so bad at like, I'm like, oh, did you want a drink? Like,
but this
I don't
isn't
know.
your apartment now.
No, I know. Yeah. It's all business.
It's all business.
Yeah.
Come to play.
Yeah.
And then and it doesn't even. I guess it doesn't even have to be Los Angeles. Where is your ideal place to locate this business?
I mean, I was thinking Los Angeles. Boston would be nice. Like, I do just love Boston.
Back to the scene of the
yeah,
club.
Exactly. Or like even like Portland sounds like something.
Yeah, it sounds like something.
Yeah.
Portland sounds like something. Well, I mean, you could always franchise it too. You do one and then all throughout.
I don't know if I'm ready for that.
I don't know, Chase. You could be one of those restaurants that's in like airplane magazines.
My God. Yeah.
Chase's Steakhouse. We got a location in
oh my God.
Vegas, obviously at the Bellagio.
Right. Damn. Oh my God. Has anyone like quit comedy immediately after doing this podcast?
Just like, yeah, they just they put their mic and they placed it down and they walked out and they never did it again. No, but the thing about the podcast is that some people, everybody approaches the question differently.
Right.
Like some people come in and it's clear they're just like, this is going to be a bit fest.
Right.
It's going to be a funny thing. Some people have like a mental breakdown and it like just the idea of approaching the question is like terrifying. And then some people come in with like almost like this is my 10-point plan for this to work.
Right.
Like,
they're almost like running it by you.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, so do you think that could work? You know, like you're like deciding their future.
I'm looking for investors.
Yeah.
Well, it's just something like it's always. I think it's in the back of all of our minds.
Right.
It's just the question of like how scary it is and how easily you approach it, as a reality.
Yeah.
But none of us want to do it.
No.
None of us want to.
I mean, I truly it's like I don't think at this point I could ever do anything else. Like 10 years ago, I could have seen myself like working in restaurants, but it's like I almost can't even see it anymore.
It's so
We've just
far
come
removed.
so far.
Well, that's just the thing that I think that comedians understand, but I don't know that people outside of our circle understand of how much energy and psychological like messiness you've invested in this feat and how hard it was and the sacrifices.
Yeah.
It's not easily
you can't just like walk away from it. Yeah.
There's a lot of strings attached.
Yeah.
That's basically the podcast in a nutshell. But hey, I'm saying it right now, even though I would love to dine at this restaurant. Also, let me twist it.
Okay.
Let me twist it. Let's just say, Chase, you should keep doing comedy.
Yeah.
Get fucking famous. Then, when you're famous, you can attach your name to a restaurant. Like a Planet Hollywood situation.
Okay, I was thinking like a John and Vinny's.
Okay.
But Planet
Hollywood is also...
You know how that's David Schwimmer's restaurant?
That's David Schwimmer's restaurant?
Yeah. I mean, I think with some other people, but like I think of John and Vinny's and I think of David Schwimmer.
But clearly like a celebrity investor.
Yes.
That could be also another alternative.
That would be incredible.
So let's work towards that.
That actually motivates me. Like, I haven't felt motivated in a while. I'm like, yeah.
We got to get Chase on TV all the time so she can open a vanity project restaurant in West Hollywood or something.
In which I just pop in and
it's you and Dave Schwimmer. Like, they're not here a lot of the time because they're very busy. But every once in a while, David Schwimmer and Chase just pop in and start comping things.
Oh my God.
I want to go.
That's a dream.
I want to go to that. Well, that is the dream, and maybe it'll become a reality. Now, Chase, we're going to take a little break.
Okay.
There's a lot of wrestling going on upstairs. I don't know if this is getting picked up on any of these microphones. They're probably not expensive enough to do that, but I think an entire furniture set is being moved constantly upstairs. So we're going to take a little break.
Okay.
We're going to come back. You're going to choose the sponsor for this week's episode.
Okay.
Perhaps it's a restaurant that you enjoy. We'll find out. We're going to be back with more Chase Bernstein right after this. Well, I cannot wait to find out who Chase Bernstein has chosen to sponsor this week's episode. She has thought long and hard about it. Much like she's thought about her exit strategy. Now, Chase, every time we have an episode of this podcast, the guest comes on, they get to choose a sponsor in the hopes that maybe, just maybe, someone will hear this and be like, oh, Chase, she's the perfect voice for X, whatever you choose.
Oh, damn. Well, then maybe I will
change this switches everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's fine. I can easily transition.
Okay, cool. Well, let's go with your first choice then.
Okay.
Who is the sponsor for this week's episode of Exit Strategy?
Oh, my God. Damn it.
Oh, it's all out of whack now.
Yeah. Because I was going to do McDonald's soft serve.
Oh, classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what my first thought was.
But then you said no.
But then it was like, oh, if someone's going to sponsor me, it's like, I do love and cherish Coffee Bean.
As we were discussing before.
It's like they're like, I'm their number one supporter. I think like, I just love them so much, but yeah, I could do either one.
Well, I feel like the McDonald's one is, they probably got they probably
fine.
got their sponsors.
I know. It's like,
and also I don't know that they would choose a spokesperson for like one thing on their menu.
Yeah, I'm not like getting behind anything
unless it was like a new
soft serve
item.
Yeah.
If it was like a new sandwich that they were rolling out, but I feel like the soft serve is pretty firmly in place on the menu as a favorite.
Yeah, that's true.
People will generally order that
that's
unprompted.
True.
Although I will say, for the past 30 years of my life, that's a top-notch soft serve.
I mean,
always
it's
A+.
insane.
I don't know what it is about it.
It's insane. It's like $1.
It's $1.
Like, it's just so freaking good.
It's like a level of creaminess. Like, I don't even know if you can use the word creamy to describe it because it's like it's something above and beyond
it's
that.
Like a new texture.
Yeah, it is like its own texture.
Yeah. And the cone, it's so simple, but it works.
And they just hand it to you.
They hand it to you, and they're like, that's it. That's
there
it.
you go.
You're not like sampling stuff. You're not like tipping. Like,
you don't have somebody getting a whole bunch of little plastic spoons trying all the gelatos.
Yeah.
Come on.
Exactly.
There's two flavors, right?
I don't know. I always just get vanilla. I'm sure they do.
Honestly, I don't think you should get chocolate there.
I
think
never
it's
even
vanilla.
thought about it. I just always get vanilla.
If you get chocolate at McDonald's, you're a psychopath.
You're a monster.
You're a fucking monster. But they've got enough help. They don't need it.
Okay,
you know who needs help?
Yeah.
Coffee
Bean.
You have a long love for Coffee Bean.
I really do. I think it's a Los Angeles thing.
Yeah, it's regional. I don't know how far it spreads out, but I definitely never heard of it until I moved here.
Right. Yeah. And I kind of grew up with it. Like I would, even in high school, I would go to Coffee Bean.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, when I walk into Coffee Bean, I truly feel safe. Like I'm not even trying to be funny. Like I truly just feel like better.
It has like a feel. It has a scent. It has
a scent.
Yeah, it has a lot of sense memory too.
Yeah, it really just like soothes me. But this is hard because I actually 3 months ago stopped drinking coffee, and so I haven't been to a Coffee Bean in months.
Are you off caffeine completely or something?
Yes.
Okay. Well, don't forget it's called Coffee Bean.
And tea leaf. I would like to forget. I hate tea. I hate tea. I am lobbying for it just to be called Coffee Bean, but I'm still gonna get decaf from there, I think, and I still support that. Like I literally I can taste the vanilla iced coffee with almond milk. Like do yourself a favor, get over there. Their ice is superior to all ice. They have the kind of like round, like little ones.
The little like nuggets of
little snowballs. Yeah. They're just heavenly, and I just love it. And I feel like people always trash Coffee Bean.
Why are they trashing Coffee Bean?
I don't know, but do you ever hear that? Like I constantly hear people just like.
I think that obviously Starbucks is the behemoth, the big elephant in the room. It is,
but it's like no one even actually likes it.
No one likes it. It's not good.
Yeah.
Coffee Bean probably does have a bit of an inferiority complex because it knows where the ceiling is.
Right.
It's not like a Pete's.
Oh my gosh. I just felt ill.
Oh my god.
I hate Pete's.
No Pete's.
Sorry.
Do you have a specific Coffee Bean location that you'd like to shout out? Is there like a special one in your heart?
Yes. Several. The one I grew up with in Studio City on Laurel Canyon and Ventura.
Okay.
It's in a little complex. Can you picture it?
Wait, I'm thinking of the one in Coldwater Canyon, and I'm so sorry.
I do like that one.
That's a good one too.
I'll sometimes go there,
okay.
But the one on Laurel Canyon and Ventura is like my main one. My issue with them is that they didn't. Maybe they do it now, but they weren't doing like you have the Coffee Bean app, and they weren't doing They didn't do that there.
They're gonna have to work on it.
I'm like, guys, come on now. But I do also. There used to be one right down the street where I lived on Larchmont, and it got closed down because I think truly I was the only one in there.
Yeah, ever. Larchmont has got a lot of coffee competition right now. You got your Groundwork, you got your Starbucks.
I would take Coffee Bean over all of those, but I like that location, and I really like the Hillhurst location.
Oh, that's a classic. You know, Angeline goes to that one.
She does. Yeah. I'd never seen her, but I could believe it.
And there's plenty of parking right there.
Ample parking.
You at the Albertsons lot with all those dudes who smoke cigars all night in the parking lot.
You're not supposed to park. You're not supposed to park there for Coffee Bean, but no one cares.
Nobody gives a shit. And they got that patio out back. That might be my favorite Coffee Bean.
I love it. I really love it. I might just go there after this and just like say what's
up. Just get a scone.
Maybe grab a yogurt.
Like you don't have to get coffee.
I know. I love
Just
it. Just
go for the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Well, before we move on, I do have to ask you, how do you feel about the remodel? Have you noticed?
Yeah, I mean, maybe I have. The one at the Grove was remodeled.
Yeah.
I do know that. I don't mind it. I said before, I support Coffee Bean.
Yeah.
No matter what they're going through, if they want to,
they're going through a facelift.
Yeah, and that's fine. I respect it and I support it.
It's a rebrand.
They could do no wrong for me, honestly.
I think that at some point, though, they should definitely revert back to their like '90s era wood paneling, like as like a retro.
I love that. That's how the one in Studio City on Laurel Canyon is, and it's just so comforting.
So much wood paneling.
So much wood.
But it is like that light wood. It does look like a Midwestern kitchen.
Yeah,
like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So get incredible. Yourself a cup of whatever you want.
Yeah.
At Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. You might just see Chase there. Don't approach her though. But as far as anything that's on the Chase Bernstein calendar or social media channels, if anybody's listening and they like what they hear, is there somewhere you would point them to see more?
I would say go ahead and open Instagram and type in the words Chase Bernstein and hit that follow button. Button. Yeah, and
Smash
just enjoy the ride.
Button.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I would say that.
So go on there, follow Chase on just Instagram. None of the other ones.
You know, I dabble in Twitter from time to time. It's a different handle.
But IG is where it's happening.
IG is the main, yeah.
So hit her up. I'm sure that, shows and anything you're doing is probably going to be on there.
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be a discount code for a comp at the restaurant. Do you have a name for the restaurant?
I don't.
Okay, that's a lot of pressure. I shouldn't have you do that at the last minute. But thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having
me. Thanks for exploring an alternate universe where you are a dancing restaurant manager.
Thanks, Jeff.
You're very welcome. We'll see y'all next week on Exit Strategy. Bye.